Hi, welcome to Book Wound! I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. In this video, I'm going to set up my reading journal for February 2026. And you must be wondering, strange, normally we only have desktop or tabletop view, and this time you're talking to us. Well, I wanted to introduce this setup because it's going to be a month that differs from the setups or my way of making TBRs from the last months. This is because of two reasons. The first one is that I wanted to participate in a readathon, but I didn't find any. Last year, I did a readathon from a French YouTuber, which is more a challenge. It is called Petit Mois, Petite Lecture, small month, small reads. I think there is an English equivalent called readathon. I think I saw that passing by, but I didn't want to do something like that again because I learned that for me this is not what I prefer for reading. I have difficulty getting into these smaller books, and reading a lot of them back to back in 1 month really didn't make me happy last year. But I heard a lot of people talk about Get a Clue-a-thon and Forensic February, and so I was hoping to participate in those this year, but unfortunately this will not be organized in 2025, or at least not in February. And so I ended up with having no readathon. And life does what it does best. It provided me with its own solution in the form of this stack of books. These are books that I have had on hold for a while in the library, and even two that were in my house for a while because Tilia had them. And going through my book list lately, I noticed that, well, I have all this to read and to return. So I will be holding a month of reading with my loved ones. Why? Because the first book, and I will introduce you to these books at the end of this video, is one that I will probably be reading with at least Naoki, maybe also Niklas, we'll see. Two of them are also on Tilia's reading list, and she also has to read them quite quickly because they are here for a while before I even noticed that I also had interest in them. So we will probably be able to at least buddy read one. Well, we always read with Merin, and I'm quite sure that I will also have some time to fit in an audiobook that my husband is talking to me about for a while now. And so in the setup that is coming now, there will be no readathon setup spreads because, well, there will not be a readathon, but there is one spread that and you will see, entitled Love Stories, on which I will be collecting memories of these reads that I do with other people or through recommendations. For the theme this month, it was also a little bit looking what I was going to do, because I tend to use an element of the readathon or the printables for it as the theme for my setup, and there is none of that. So I decided to use up stationery that I had laying around from my February bullet journal setup from 2025. I really love this theme, and by making the flip through of my bullet journal, I noticed that, or I got reminded that I still have some of this stationery left. So I used that. I added in some elements from other stationery that I have, and I created something out of that. So if you want to compare how the same or almost the same stuff gives a completely different result, you can also go have a look at that video for extra inspiration. So we are going to switch to desktop or tabletop view. We'll have a setup with complete only music. Enjoy. And we'll meet just after that for me to introduce the books on my TBR to you. TBR, there will be this stack of books, but there will also be some priority reads. The first one should be for my fit salon, but when I'm filming this, it is still January, and I know that I will probably not be able to finish the fit salon book for this month. So I will just add no other one to this and read the one from January in February. For the map of stories, I will need a romance book by an LGBTQI plus author, and with exactly 2 people on the cover, and that was recommended by a booktuber. And I'm going to go with Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Romance is not my favorite genre, and I have a few of them on my list, but most of them do not get all these boxes ticked. But some people are, and Louise is, and then some other people are very enthusiastic about that book, and I so much loved Looking for Group that I'm going to give that one a try. And we have the Connections Challenge from the 52 Book Club, and I need a book set in the USA, which will be Never Lie by Frieda McFadden. It's also a book that I'm looking forward for a while now to read, and I have it on my Kindle, so I will take the opportunity to read that one. And I will also need a book that is published in the same year as that one, and that will be an audiobook, and that will be Morgan Is My Name, so that I also have some audio in between my reads. Then I also always make a little priority list in audiobooks, and that will be The Haunted Bookstore Book 2. And I will also try to listen to Les Murmures du Shar 2, which is the second book in a French trilogy that from which I listened to the first one a while ago. Then for the books that I am going to read, I will start off with this one. It is by Tiffany McDaniel. I have seen a lot of publicity for it, especially on Instagram, and the title in English, it's a long one, is The Wand Keepers, A Sky Full of Dragons. And I plan to read this book with Naoki, and maybe Niklas will come and listen in as well. This is a middle grade one. It has to do with magic and dragons, but I also loved Betty from this author that I immediately wanted to try this one with the kids. I have a few other books on my TBR from Tiffany McDaniel, but we'll start off with this one. Then the 2 books that Tilia also has on her list. The first one is this one. So this is a French only book then. And it is the first one in the series, which is called The Winds of, I would say, Earth Sky. It is a young adult one, and I completely forget what it is about, but that's okay. It's the way I like to go into a book, knowing that at some point it interested me, and now I am just diving into it. So I will try to read this one. And then the second one is The Whisper Weeks, The Labyrinth of Lost and Found. And this edition is just beautiful. It's a hardcover. We do not often get hardcovers from the library. Oh, even this one is very beautiful. We will have the chance to see more about this, but this is also a young adult magical history story. So I'm curious to see what it is about. And then the 2 others I need to finish up quite quickly from the library are The Quiet Tenant by Clémence Michallon, which is a thriller about a serial killer who has to move and who has to hide one of the people, the woman he's keeping prisoned. This I heard the chapter Conundrum, Stacy talking about that, and she loved it a lot, and also a French YouTuber. And so this one is one I really want to try. And then the last one is from a French author, which is called Franck Tillier, and the book is called Norferville, and it is a police officer who goes all the way to, I think it is Canada, to see, to find his daughter who went missing. I thought this also might be very interesting, and it was recommended to me by several people around me as well. So I'm going to read that. The last book that I want to add to that is an audiobook, which is called Blood Song, which is one that my husband has recommended to me, and I will put the cover over there, and I will try to also listen to that one. So if you want to know if I managed to read all this, then I will suggest to you to hit the subscribe button and the notification so that you can follow along when my vlogs come out to see what I felt about the books that I read, and also that you are notified when my February wrap-up comes up so that you can check out what I read during the month of February in a more statistic way, and that you can see the update of this reading journal. What are you planning to read in February? Are you partaking in a readathon? Which one? Please let me know in the comments. See you soon!